Talking Luther College football with offensive coordinator Peyton Haynes and coach, 49-21 victory over Grinnell on Saturday. Obviously, the rushing attack, school records, 579 yards, a lot of big plays. How'd you make it happen on Saturday?
I think the big thing where our kids really executed the game plan that we had. Earlier on in the game, Grinnell did a few things to us that kind of gave us a few fits, but our kids did a really good job coming to the sideline, making adjustments, and then making the correct reads and the correct calls kind of as the game progressed to really set us up.
When you talk about adjustment, how much of it is from a coaching staff perspective? How much of it is the guys having to see what they need to see out there?
I would say a major majority of it is probably from the kids coming from the sideline, communicating to us what they're seeing out there, because from what they see kind of determines on what we call from the sideline. But at the same time with that, the game plan still doesn't change much from what we have initially, but what they do tell us does have a huge impact on what plays we call to certain situations.
I know you wanted to figure out quite a few things in these three non-conference games. You're 3-0 right now. What have you figured out about this team? What remains a question mark at this point?
I think the big thing that we found about our team is our toughness that we've talked about since the day one with where we want to get our program, the mentality. Some things they kind of still figure out. I think there's still guys that are a little banged up for us right now. See how these next couple of weeks with the bye week coming up, to kind of see how that progresses with those injuries. Hopefully we'll get those kids back and really be able to create the depth that we've looked for going into our conference now, to really maybe play some different guys in different situations to set us up to win our conference championship.
And depth-wise, are you deeper than you were in August? Are you deeper than you were 3 weeks ago?
I would say deeper than August, correct, is probably the best way to put it, because our freshmen that came in, we brought a big group of freshmen in that have really started to learn our system. A lot of them came from similar systems out of high school, but there's always those little tweaks that you don't think about from a high school standpoint to a college standpoint. The major thing is, I think, just the speed of the game has slowed down for them. So those kids that came in at first, they were kind of looking around what's going on, have now it's slowed down for them a little bit. So they've created depth by just slowly learning the college football game as those three non-conference games have came.
I know you got to play a lot of guys on Saturday. You got to play a lot on Sunday in a JV game. How does that help in adjusting to the speed of the college game?
Being able to play guys obviously is a big adjustment for the speed. The JV game, playing some younger kids, it was really good especially for our defense. The defensive guys that played on Sunday in the JV games, they've been seeing triple option out of them every day in practice. So being able to go to the University of Wisconsin lacrosse and seeing some inside zone, seeing a spread team, seeing more of a pass-oriented with inside-outside zone was a tremendous help for our young kids, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, just for kids to be able to hit somebody different, it's a huge thing just because it's their Saturday afternoon for some of those kids, and it was a great opportunity for them.
And you got the bye week coming up this week. How do you handle this week of practice? How do you handle next week with an opponent to prepare for?
This week is the majority is make sure our kids are healthy. At the same time, we want to make sure that they're getting in the weight room, getting the soreness out, make sure we're staying conditioned. We'll take maybe one extra day of practice off this week just to really get our kids' bodies back to where they feel like we need to be for conference. But not a lot changes. We're going to go out and have full padded practices, really get after our guys to make sure that we're not losing the mesh, we're not losing the speed that we've created these first 3 games. And then next week is just a normal week of preparation for us. Obviously, we'll have a little bit more time to prepare for Dubuque, but not a lot changes going in these next 2 weeks.
All right, hopefully the progress continues this week and the positivity continues next week. Coach, 3-0 start and building from here. We wish you best of luck.
Thank you.
Peyton Haynes talking Luther College football.